Good morning everyone, my name is Faita Sadi from Telkom University. Today we are presenting our paper on performance analysis of a microservice architecture using a backend for front-end pattern applied to a digital library system we call CLMS. The system was built, deployed, and tested as part of this research. Let me walk you through what we did and what we found. So, why microservice? The short answer is that the monolithic architecture tend to break down under three specific pressures. First, tight coupling, where changing one module unexpectedly breaks something completely unrelated. Second, wasteful scaling, where the entire application has to be replicated even when only one component is actually underload. Third, no fault isolation, meaning one falling module can take the whole system down with it. To solve these problems, we decomposed the system into 11 independent services, added a BFF aggregation layer, a Redis caching layer, and containerized everything with Docker. Here is how the system is structured. The entire stacks run on the single Ubuntu VBS. Nginx sits at the front to handle SSL and route incoming traffic. From there, requests reach the Next.js 14 frontend. The key design decision here is that the frontend never calls any microservice directly. Every data request goes through the BFF service, which aggregates the response and returns exactly what the frontend needs. Beyond the BFF, we have 11 fast API microservices, each with its own isolated PostgreSQL database, following the database per service pattern. This is the core theoretical contribution of the paper. In a dry client to microservice setup, every service call closes the public internet. So if a dashboard page needs a data from 3 services, the browser makes 3 separate round trips, and the total latency is the sum of all of them. The more services you add, the worse it gets. With the BFF, the browser only makes one public request. The BFF then dispatches all internal calls simultaneously over the Docker network, where latency is roughly 1 to 2 milliseconds. The total wait time collapses to just the slowest service, not the sum of all of them. And because internal Docker latency is much smaller than public internet latency, the overall time effectively becomes a single public round trip regardless of how many services are involved. We validated this with a control experiment. 30 measurements per condition on the live deployed system. We compared two strategies for loading the admin dashboard. The first one, the sequential baseline. 3 HTTP requests issued in series over the public internet. The second was the BFF parallel strategy. 1 public request with the BFF handling everything internally. The sequential scenario averaged 174.7 milliseconds. The BFF parallel scenario averaged 68.8 milliseconds. There is a 61% reduction in latency. OHT test confirmed this is statistically significant, with T of 57.9 equal to 18.2 and P less than 0.001, and a 95% confidence interval of 94 to 118 milliseconds. One outlier appeared at trial 2 at 187 milliseconds due to a transient network spike. The remaining 29 trials clustered tightly between 60 and 85 milliseconds, with a standard deviation of 5.5 milliseconds, which is consistent with what we model predict. For the front-end evaluation, we ran 12 GTmetrix measurements over 2 days using the Lighthouse engine from a settled test server, spanning both cold cache and warm cache conditions. TBT and CLS were within Google's good threshold, across all 12 runs. TBT had a median of 111 milliseconds against a 150 milliseconds threshold. The CLS held at zero throughput. LCP is more nuanced. The median of 22.5 seconds falls in the needs improvement range, which is primarily due to 2.5 megabyte hero image and the 13,000 kilometer distance between the shuttle test server and our production server in Indonesia. Under warm cage conditions, the system peaked at GTmetrix Grade A with a performance score of 90% and LCP of 1.6 seconds, confirming that the architecture itself is not the bottleneck. One metric that prior microservice research rarely reports is actual idle memory consumption per container. We profile all 22 containers using Docker stats before any load testing. The total idle footprint was 1,132 megabyte. The BFF service was the largest consumer at 137.6 megabyte because it maintains concurrent connection pools to all 11 downstream services. PostgreSQL database average only 21 megabyte each, compared to a monolithic equivalent at roughly 800 megabyte. Running microservice costs approximately 332 megabyte of additional baseline memory. There is the concrete quantified trade-off for fault isolation and selective scalability. Briefly on the features, the system implements multi-branch data scoping via JWT library ID claims, automated fine calculation through a daily cron job, time zone correct peak hour reporting, stateless JWT with 4-tier RBAC, active Redis cache invalidation on every write, and native SVG start in Next.js to avoid adding a third-party charting library to the bundle. To wrap up, this paper presents three principal findings. First, BFF parallel aggregation is validated with statistical rigor. A 61% latency reduction confirmed by Welch t-test with p less than 0.001. Second, TBT and CLS meet Google's good threshold across all measurements. LCP variance is attributable to geographic distance and image size, not the architecture. Third, we established a concrete idle memory baseline of 1,132 megabyte across 22 containers, a measurement absent from comparable prior work. The main current limitation is that synchronous HTTP REST between services creates a risk of cascading failure under high write load. For future work, we recommend integrating a message broker like Apache Kafka for event-driven writes, deploying an LIK stack for distributed tracing and observability, and running tests with Locus or K6 to extend evaluation beyond front-end metrics. This work was supported by Telkom University through the internal research program. Thank you, and we are happy to take questions.